Welcome to Official Storytime with Miss Anna. Today we're going to be reading Dr. Fauci, How a Boy from Brooklyn Became America's Doctor by Kate Messner, illustrated by Alexandra Bai. Let's see what the book is all about. Anthony Fauci was always asking questions, wondering about the world from the tropical fish in his bedroom aquarium to the vast oceans of sea life, the blazing stars, and the spinning planets in the pictures of his encyclopedias. How did it all work? With a wide open mind, Anthony searched for answers. His family encouraged that curiosity. When the nuns at his school said you had to go to Mass each week in order to get into heaven, Anthony wondered about his grandfather, an Italian immigrant who spent his Sundays over steaming pots of pasta and bubbling red sauce. Anthony asked his grandfather why he didn't go to church. "When I make you all the good food, that's my Mass," his grandfather answered. "So don't worry about me. I'm going to be fine." Anthony's dad ran a drugstore, while his mom and older sister served customers at the cash register. Anthony zipped around the neighborhood on his swing bicycle, delivering prescriptions. Sometimes he'd get a nickel for a tip. Anytime Anthony struggled with homework, his father reminded him that every problem has a solution. Don't get discouraged. Don't run away because you don't understand the problem. Think about it carefully and try to work it out. Anthony learned to start with wondering, then gather evidence and keep an open mind. His neighborhood was full of tough guys, and Anthony wasn't that big. We learned to get along with everyone. He was good at talking to people and listening to. The boys compared notes about their favorite baseball players and played stickball in the streets. Who could hit the ball the farthest? They measured by the sewers, really by the manhole covers that led down to the city sewers, spaced about 100 feet apart. If you hit the ball past one sewer, you were pretty good. With two sewers? That was impressive. Anthony was proud to be a two-sewer guy. Anthony loved basketball too, but he was shorter than the other players. How could he compete? He thought about that problem and realized the solution was speed. He couldn't shoot the ball over his opponents, but he could dash past them. One of his teammates said he was so quick he could dribble through a brick wall. Anthony might have been short, but the other guys looked up to him. They admired his determination and the way he could talk to everyone, so they chose Anthony to be a captain of the team. In high school, Anthony realized he wanted to be a doctor. He went to college and got a summer job working construction to help pay for his tuition. When the crew was building a new library for the Cornell Medical College in New York City, Anthony snuck inside to peek at the grand auditorium. What will it be like to learn in such an extraordinary place? Then a guard showed up. Anthony's work boots were tracking mud all over the floor. Anthony told the guard that he was going to attend medical school there in a year. The guard laughed and asked him to leave, so Anthony left, but not for long. He attended that medical school and graduated first in his class. Now he was Dr. Fauci. He became one of the country's top experts on what makes people sick and how to make them well. Soon, Dr. Fauci had a whole country of people to care for, a new team to lead, and a lot of problems to solve. It was good that he learned how to get along with all different kinds of people back in Brooklyn. His job required that. New diseases were emerging. Germs no one had seen before were making people sick. Dr. Fauci and his researchers had to gather evidence and keep an open mind. They searched and studied and did a lot of listening. When a deadly disease called AIDS began spreading through the United States, people criticized government leaders for not doing enough to stop it. Protesters chanted and shouted outside Dr. Fauci's office. He invited some of them inside to talk so they could work together to find solutions. Every new disease was a mystery to wonder about, a problem to solve. Where had it come from? How did it spread? How could it be prevented until researchers found a cure or a vaccine? One of Dr. Fauci's biggest challenges came when a new disease appeared at the end of 2019, COVID-19, caused by a coronavirus. Within weeks, the virus spread around the globe. Hospitals were overwhelmed. Doctors and nurses worked around the clock. Hospitals were overwhelmed. Doctors and nurses worked around the clock. Stores and gyms and theaters shut down. People had to work and learn from home. A virus too tiny to see had stopped the whole world in its tracks. Where had it come from? Why was it spreading so quickly? How could anyone stay safe? People wanted answers, and at first Dr. Fauci simply didn't have them. More and more people got sick, but there had to be a solution. Don't get discouraged. Think about it carefully. Try to work it out. Dr. Fauci kept an open mind. He worked with scientists around the world. They listened to one another, gathered evidence, and searched for solutions. They shared ideas, discovered new information, and revised those ideas. They taught people simply ways to be safe, while researchers developed medicines and a vaccine. Guidelines. Number 1, wash hands. 2, social distance, 6 feet apart. 3, wear a mask. Within a year, people began rolling up their sleeves for the shots that will protect them so they could go back to school, back to work, back to hugging their families and playing with their friends. Dr. Fauci did that too. Through all those months of problem solving, he looked forward to being together with his family again, making good food and sharing stories. Soon enough, it will be time to get back to work. Searching for a solution to whatever challenges might come next. How do vaccines work? When germs such as bacteria and viruses invade your body and multiply, they can make you sick. But the good news is you have a built-in collection of disease-fighting superpowers. It's called your immune system. Your body, like all the living things, is made up of tiny building blocks called cells. And some of those cells help fight disease. Some special blood cells swallow up germs. Others produce antibodies, which are special proteins that also help fight germs. After your body battles an infection, it remembers how to protect you against that particular disease. But when a new germ shows up, your immune system might take a while to start attacking it. Vaccines help by teaching your immune system how to fight specific germs before you can even encounter them. Sometimes vaccines introduce a dead version of the germ, a harmless piece of it, or a code that gives instructions so your own cells can create part of the germ. That tricks your body into thinking it's being infected, so your immune system will be ready to go when the real germ shows up. Vaccines aren't medicine. They don't kill germs. They boost your body's natural disease-fighting superpowers so that you can fight the germs off yourself. Are vaccines safe? Vaccines like the ones developed for COVID-19 are very safe. Before vaccines are used on people, scientists do many tests to make sure the vaccines will help fight disease and won't cause harm. When researchers develop a new vaccine, they test it on laboratory animals such as mice first. If the vaccine seems to work, then the scientists do a series of tests on human volunteers in several stages. Phase 1. Researchers give the vaccine to a small number of volunteers to make sure it's safe. The scientists study how well the vaccine works and what size dose is needed. Phase 2. Scientists give the vaccine to hundreds of volunteers of different ages and backgrounds to find out if it works well on everyone. These tests also confirm that the vaccine is safe. Phase 3. Researchers give the vaccine to thousands of volunteers to learn how well it protects against disease. Scientists also check again to make sure the vaccine is safe. Approval. After all the testing, a new group of scientists reviews the results. When all those experts decide the vaccine is safe and good at preventing illness, they approve it and make it available to everyone. Do you know when you roll up your sleeve for a vaccine, it doesn't protect only you? By boosting your immune system to fight disease, you also help to make sure you won't spread germs to your family, friends, or community. Getting a vaccine makes you a disease-fighting superhero. Dr. Fauci's 5 Tips for Future Scientists by Dr. Anthony Fauci. Number 1. Keep an open mind. Science is discovery, which means that from the beginning, you don't know what the answer is. Leave open all the possibilities of what you might find. 2. Don't be afraid to fail. In science, you fail more often than you succeed, so don't get discouraged by something that doesn't work. Ultimately, that's what science is all about. It's step-by-step learning with lots of missteps along the way. Number 3. Get excited about discovery. There are very few experiences in life that are better than the excitement of discovering something new. Number 4. Remember that science is self-correcting. There may be something you think is one way, but if you really delve into it, you might reveal that it's another way. Number 5. Keep learning. Science can expand who you are. The more you learn, the more insight you have into everything about yourself, the people in your life, and the world you live in. Timeline. As director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, Dr. Fauci has advised 7 U.S. presidents on health issues. Here are some milestones from his life. And as we can see, from 1940, Anthony Fauci is born on Christmas Eve. 1958, Anthony Fauci graduates from high school. 1966, Dr. Fauci graduates from Cornell Medical College and begins his internship and residency at New York Hospital Cornell Medical Center. 1968, Dr. Fauci begins work at the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease. 1970 to 71, Dr. Fauci takes a break from the NIAID to work as chief resident of New York Hospital Cornell Medical Center. 1972, Dr. Fauci returns to the NIH. 1981, scientists notice unusual illnesses showing up in otherwise healthy young men. The first indication that a new disease called AIDS is beginning to spread in the United States. 1984, Dr. Fauci becomes director of the NIAID while he studies AIDS and other infectious disease. 1999, a new disease called West Nile virus is identified in the United States. Dr. Fauci and other scientists lead an effort to combat the outbreak. 2003, Dr. Fauci works with President George W. Bush to create the U.S. President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief while invests billions of dollars to fight AIDS around the globe. 2008, Dr. Fauci is awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom for his work fighting infectious disease. 2014, an Ebola epidemic breaks out in West Africa and spreads through travel to several people in the United States. Dr. Fauci helps treat an American healthcare worker who was infected overseas, and he works with other scientists to contain the outbreak. 2020-2021, a new disease called COVID-19 emerges and quickly develops into a pandemic. Dr. Fauci serves on the White House Coronavirus Task Force, working with other public health experts and scientists toward the goal of ending the outbreak. And that, my friends, was the end of the book. We have author's notes, quotes from Dr. Fauci's grandfather and father are based on Dr. Fauci's recollections of those conversations that shared with me in a Zoom interview on November 23rd, 2020. And these are some pictures that we can look at. And that, my friends, was the end of the book. I'll see you next time. Bye.